Okay, so then there's, once you start to make an arcade or a stadium, you can start to, do these mobile events. So there's quite a few companies that have these setups you take around for, here's one that's Robo Wars. I should mention that this robot's not designed to fight against robots. They're designed to compete against each other, but it's not a fighting. They're not fighting, they're not trying to destroy each other. I'm even a little reluctant to put targets on the robots that the other robots can shoot at. I really want to have them interacting in the environment and not destroying each other. So here's just more about some of these. There's companies out there that are taking little robot setups around to birthday parties and so forth. And then you got obviously know about combots and all that. And then there's a lot of these game trucks where they take video games around to parties. So that's a possibility. This is more game trucks. And then we were working on a simulator, which is very much like a video game. We're trying to decide what platform to launch it on. We're probably going to go with a PC, but there's obviously several options. There's a picture of the workshop. So in the workshop, you can change the colors. You can change the little avatar, the little robot inside. And then we're hoping that eventually you're going to be able to build up your little robot here and then push a button and order it. Custom order your robot with the colors that you want. So the game incorporates the best aspects of billiards, mini golf, pinball, shooting gallery, Rube Goldberg scenarios, midway games, and soccer. And then there's a lot of then ways to monetize it. This is a standard kind of video game kind of monetization scheme. I'm not going to get into too much of this. I'll just kind of rush through these a little bit. But there's some of the. We want it to be free to play because we do want to use it to promote the robot itself, the physical games. And you have money. You can use it to buy crystals for like upgrades and whatnot. You have a bot shop where you can buy different things and change the look of the stadium, change the look of your robot. Different things in the workshop. Buy modules. You can add modules to the robot. So we're really trying to make this a true simulator where you can actually then try out a module in the simulator before you buy it and see if you like it, see if it enhances your gameplay, see if you can use it to score more points. Because there'll be modules in the stadium that you'll need one of these other modules to score points with. If you don't have a laser cannon, you aren't going to be able to score points at the laser targets. And then we have some things we're going to do, some debuffs, and let people get into your stable of targets, which we call the balls, we call targets, and kind of hack those and make it more difficult for them to score. We'll have a store and whatnot. That's kind of showing two things. It's kind of showing the stadium on a pool table. But we have the robots modeled, and it looks and drives just like the real robot. Okay, then we have so we're playing. We call the game ZOZ Ball, and we play from anywhere from the size of a foosball up to a baseball. Ping pong, golf balls, billiards, tennis balls, and we play them on these different stadiums. On a billiards table at home. Miniature golf is one of the things we're looking into. I'll show you that in a second. And an arcade. So here's a design to play on a pool table. Here's a mat that we're going to put on the pool table to help set up the game. So they'll arrange the balls. One way to do it is in the middle there in a circle. And you put a robot at either end. And basically you say 1, 2, 3, go. So, and you didn't mention that you take out the 8 balls. So it's an even number of stripes and solids. And then it's the first person who can push their balls off the table. It's a simple game you play on a pool table. And here's the stadium setup with the robots, the balls, there's the mat, gates, walls, and so on. Here's a little mini golf setup. So in the mini golf, what you'll do is you'll play simultaneously. So that's one thing, on the pool table, again, you play simultaneously. You play 2 players or 4 players play at the same time. And we're going to do the same thing in the mini golf. So you line up with your robot and your colored ball, and you say 1, 2, 3, go. And it's who can get their ball in the hole first is first, and you keep track that way, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So again, the low score will win. You play, and it's going to be pretty crazy, pretty chaotic. And it also goes a lot faster. That's one thing I didn't mention about the pool game. The pool game, in a coin-op situation, the game goes really fast. It only takes about 2 minutes to play the game versus 10 or 15, depending on the skill of the players. There's a picture of a possible arcade. You can see how big some of those arcade games are. That's a big air hockey, four-sided air hockey table. And then also the arcades, obviously, once you have an arcade version, you can put that just about anywhere. And then we'll have competitions, in person, teleoperation, tournaments possibly with entry fees, scoring, leaderboards, all the things you can do with competitions. We're thinking about a movie for promotion of the product. Obviously, a sports theme would be a good one. You have all these different players, coaches, all these different people, and equipment and competitions. There's lots of possibilities for different scenarios. That's just a little plot thing. I'll skip that. Anyway, there's our movie star, or our cartoon star, a little ZOZ Robotics. And then we can get into all the business stuff. Probably going to go through this pretty quick. I'm not sure. I mentioned this, so this is some of the recognition. We went to CES in 2016. Went to the Toy Fair last year, in 2017. Here's some of our IP that we filed for. We're pending, we've filed for 14 patents. We've been issued 4 so far. We think we're about to get a 5th shortly. And there's still I have about 3 or 4 or 5 more disclosures that we haven't filed for yet. We filed for trademarks, about 5 trademarks, copyrights. We have some copyrights, and we have a bunch of URLs down at the bottom there related to ZOZ Robotics and ZOZ. Here's the development status. Our tooling is complete. The electronics are complete. The software, we're saying, is about 90% complete, but probably never is really complete. So we do have a way to download updates to the software through Bluetooth. Packaging, I haven't seen a prototype of the packaging yet, but we have a design. And the certifications, we're just about to, once the software is done, we're going to submit for certification. The apps for the 2 phones are done. You can see for the Zozulator, the billiard game is complete, but it's not working right now, so we're working on getting that redone, up and going. And the Zozanium, you'll be able to see it in the back. Phone, the stadium's complete. The modules, we've got a prototype complete, and we're still trying to figure out how to do the electronics, how to tie all that together, power and signal. And then the various ZOZball games for the pool table, mini golf, home arcade. Just a little BattleBot game. Sales and marketing channels and targets. There's quite a few ways we can go about marketing this. So we're trying to kind of pick the best one to start with. Let me see what else we got. Then we're looking at licensing, either inbound or outbound. I don't know if you guys want to read that, but takes a break. So one of the possibilities is Rick and Morty. I don't know if you guys know Rick and Morty, but this crazy guy that flies around in his little spaceship he built out of garbage cans and whatnot. So I modeled that. That's on the right there is a little model I made in SolidWorks. And then obviously, you know, ideally we get other companies to make modules that go on our platform. Then there's also the possibility of doing themes in the stadium, fast food, or you can have, you know, each module could be a different chain. You get Jack in the Box and McDonald's and whatnot, or you could have different corporate modules. So a lot of different possibilities with licensing and branding. Advertising on the game mat. You could sell space for advertising. Here's just some interesting stats on billiard halls. In particular, the coin-op pool table market. There's 350,000 coin-op pool tables in the U.S. And this isn't current, but at one point they were making over $2 billion in revenue generated from those 350,000. So that's just, so that shows you kind of how it's been declining. On the left there, that's at the, I think, I should put my glasses on so I can read this. I think it's at 2.2 billion, and it's been going down. So we're thinking that, we're hoping that with the introduction of a robot that can play games on a pool table, that we can start to make that number go back up. Golf courses, mini golf courses, it's really hard to put a number on it. It's anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 in the U.S. And then the problem is with a lot of toys is that they're just, look at me. They don't do much, kind of dead-end products. They have single functionality, and customers, they lose interest in them. Eventually they end up in a box in the closet. And so we think we have a solution where you have an ever-expanding, configurable technology platform that will not become obsolete. So there's a little graphics on that. That's all your old robots in a box. And then we're actually getting ready to do a fundraising campaign to friends and family. We're looking to raise $250,000 at $1 share, which is equal to about 10% of the company. And our use of proceeds are there. We're going to get our first production run, licensing deal signed, secure some IP, some more IP, probably do a Kickstarter campaign on that launcher. We think that'll be a popular one. And the stadiums, and then the Little Reserve. And we're looking for a kick-ass CEO and a pile of money. And that's it.